Hello, dear students. I am Kishore Datta. I assign the alternative English classes. First, I would like to tell you about the subject alternative English. Alternative English is an optional subject. There is no doubt about that. And all the students are English medium students. So, basically, my point is that you need to good in understanding the language, English language. So as far as possible, our communications or our lectures will be in English. Regarding the pronunciation, that is a very important part. If you have any problem, you can consult HS first year alternative English syllabus and HS second year alternative English syllabus. I provide a comparative analysis of this syllabus, there is a vast differences. In HS first year, basically the focus is given on the understanding. What is your understanding power? How well you understand the English language? So you need to understand first the syllabus. What is the syllabus? How we need to write the answers, how we need to understand communications or the understanding power. Because whenever you get a lectures in English, you need to understand, try to understand the lecture in English. Because you need to improvise your language skill by reading, writing and listening. By reading, you can understand, there is no doubt about it, because you can give the time, you can give the maximum time in the reading, because you can give fast reading, second reading, okay, no doubt about that. In case of the writing also you can improvise, but in case of the listening, you need to train your ear. That is a basic thing. Now what is the syllabus? In alternative English syllabus, in Unit 1, there will be a comprehension passage and from the prose and a stanza from a poem. In case of the prose, in the first unit, in case of the prose, there is a passage and you have to write, you have to read this particular passage, and on the basis of this particular passage there will be some question, and by reading this you need to write the answer. This means what? You need to have a good understanding power. By reading it, you need to understand. You need to understand the particular passage, and on the basis of that, there will be some question, and you have to write down. In case of the poem, there will be a stanza. In the same way, you have to read this particular stanza, and you have to write the answer of that particular question. So in Unit 1 there will be 15 marks. In case of the prose there will be 10 marks, and in case of the poem there will be 5 marks. Very short answer to that question. In case of the poem, each question carries 1 mark, and in case of the prose there will be 1 or 2 short question, another 2-mark question. Next part is Unit 2. Unit 2 is about the poetry and the prose section. Poetry and the prose section, Unit 2. So, poetry section, there will be 4 poems. The poem are The Daffodils by William Wordsworth, When Autumn Came by Faiz Ahmed Faiz. After that, The Listeners by Walter de la Mare, and the last poem, Once Upon a Time by Gabriel Okara. And in the prose section, there will be 4 prose. The prose are Soter and Papa, The Rule of the Road, Box and Cox, Many and the Nun. So, in the Unit 2, poetry and prose section, in the poetry section, there are 2 RTC will be given to you. You have to attempt Anyone. What is RTC? A particular stanza of the poem is given. You have to read that particular stanza and write down the answer. So again, the understanding power, how will you understand that particular poem? So remember, there will be 2 RTC, you have to attempt any one, and for that 5 marks. So marks, there will be 2 short question, each question carries 1 mark. So 1 into 2, 2 mark, and in another 3 marks there will be a long question for that 3 marks for the RTC. So for the RTC, in the poetry section, you will have to write only 1 RTC, and for that 5 marks. Next, we move to, in the poetry section again, you get a long question. In case of the long question, there will be 2 or 3 long questions. Generally, 2 questions are given. So you have to attempt one, and for that there will be word limit. Remember, word limit. Generally, you have to write the long question within 80 words for that 5 marks. So length is not the matter. How well you write, what is your understanding power, what other point you included, how you understand a particular poem. All these particular things are generally judged in the long question. So 80 words. So within that particular words, 80 or 90 words, within particular words, you have to complete the answer. So from this particular, it is clear that what is your understanding power, how well you understand. Remember, and as I told you earlier, that alternative English as an optional subject, you need to be very accurate. Your grammar, your spelling, all these particular things are judged. Next, we move to the next segment. In the poetry section, the next segment, there will be short questions. Each question carries 2 marks, and you have to attempt 3. 2 into 3, 6 marks for that particular segment. So here again, you have to attempt 3 answer, 3 question, and each question carries 2 marks. So 2 into 3. Next segment is again a short question. For that, each question carries 3 marks. Okay, so 3 into 2, 6 marks. You have to attempt 2. So in case of the short question, earlier there are 3 short questions. There will be 3 short questions. Okay, each carry 2 marks. So for that particular question also, there will be word limit, 25 words. You have to complete the answer within 25 words. You don't have to write a lot of words. Okay, and in case of the 3 mark question, the word limit for that particular segment, 40 words. So for the 3 marks question, word limit is 30 words. You have to complete the answer within 40 words. So that is very important things. Okay, and last segment of the poetry section, you have to attempt each of the question or complete the answer of that particular question in one sentence. So for that 1 mark. So 1 into 3. So for that there will be 4 or 5 questions, but you have to attempt any 3 questions. So 1 into 3, 3 marks for that particular. So if we calculate the marks from the poetry section, there will be 25 marks. 5 marks from the RTC. Okay, 5 marks from the long question. Okay, next 15 marks from the short question, so 25 marks. Next we move to the prose section. In the prose section, as all of you come to know that in the prose section there will be a RTC. In the same way, in the prose also there will be a RTC. In the RTC, in case of the prose, there will be a RTC. Here a particular passage of any prose will be given to you. You have to read that particular passage, and on the basis of that there will be some question, and you have to write down the question from the reference. Okay, it means reference to the context. From that particular passage, you need to understand what is the reference, on what basis the writer inform or tells this particular thing. You need to understand that particular reference. So, in the same way, there will be two RTC, okay, in the prose section, and you have to attempt any one. In the RTC, in the prose section, there will be 5 marks. For that, there will be 5 marks. So, there will be 2 short questions, okay, each carries 1 mark, 1, 1, 2, and there will be long question, for that 3 marks. Long means that you have to 3 marks work. For the RTC there are no word limits, so that you can, so 3 mark means that 25 to 40 words you have to complete it. Okay, so that is the prose. Next segment in the prose, in the same way, in the poetry you get 1 long question, and in the prose also you get 1 long question, and for that 5 marks. So there will be 2 questions, you have to attempt any one. So in the long questions also there will be a word limit. You have to complete the answer within 80 words. Third segments of the prose, very short answer type question. You have to attempt any 2 questions. Okay, each questions carries 2 marks. So 2 into 2, 4 marks for that. Okay, and you have to complete the answer within 25 words. So word limits. Next segment, I think 4th segment, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. In the 4th segment, you get again short questions. Each questions carries 3 marks. You have to attempt any 2. So 3 into 2, 6 marks. In this particular segment, you have to complete the answer within 40 words. And the last segment, for that 5 marks. In the last segment, this segment is that you will get some word of the particular lesson, okay, from the prose section, any of the word, and you just have to write the meaning. What is the meaning of that particular word? That is the task. You have to attempt any 5 word. You have to write any 5 meaning of the word. Each question carries 1 mark. For if you write 1 meaning, you get 1, and if you write all this correct 5 meaning of the word, you will get 5 marks. So 5 marks. In the same way, in the prose section also it is clear that 25 marks. So 25, 50 from the prose section, 25 from the prose and 25 from the poetry, 50 marks from the unit 2, and unit 1, 15 marks. So you can calculate 65 marks. Next segment is grammar. In a grammar segment, there will be pair of words. Okay, pair of words like principle, okay, like main, okay, idle. So this pair of words, each pair, okay, there will be 2 pair. You have to write only 2 pair of words. Each pair carries 2 marks, 2 into 2, 4 marks. So if you are able to write the 2 pair, then you get 4 marks. Okay, so pair of words, 4 marks. Next we move to the next you get correct tense. For the correct tense, just generally conditional sentences are given in the HS past year alternative English. Conditional sentences are given, but it is better to know the tense part. So correct tense, 3 marks. each question carries 1 mark, so 1 into 3, 3 marks. Next segment is about tagged questions. Tag question, there will be 4 questions and each question carries half mark, so half into 4, 2 marks. Tag question part, 2 mark. Next, fill in a blank with appropriate prepositions. You have to attempt any 6 prepositions. Put the correct preposition in the space. So each question carries half mark, so 6 preposition, half into 6, 3 marks from the preposition part. Next segment is fill in the blanks with appropriate articles. So you have to insert the proper article. For that, you have to attempt any 6, and each question carries half mark, half into 6, 3 marks from the articles. Next segment of the grammar. Identify 5 nouns and 5 adjectives from the sentence. So a particular passage will be given to you. You have to read this and you have to identify what are those words which are the noun, 5 nouns and 5 adjectives. Remember, 5 nouns and 5 adjectives, total 10 words. You have to find out what are the nouns and what are the adjectives. You have to just write down nouns, adjective. For that particular task, there will be 5 marks. So each task, for each identifications like noun or the adjective, half marks. For each identification, there will be half marks. So half into 10, 5 marks from the identification. Identify noun and adjective. So that is a unit 3, grammar. Okay. Last unit, unit 4, that is a very important unit, creative writing skill. Now what is a creative? What is a creativity? You need to understand that how will you understand, and on the basis of your understanding how will you can write down or you can speak. Generally speaking is not important because you have to write down. So obviously you need to write it. From your understanding you need to write it. So creative writing skill, as I told you, is about the creativity, the how will you make something. So in a creative writing skill, there will be you have to there will be in the segment, in the first segment there will be a paragraph. So there will be 4 or 5 topics will be given to you. Okay. So, and you have to attempt any one in the paragraph writing. You have to attempt any one, and for that 8 marks. And you have to write that particular topic within 180 to 200 words. That is the task, because you cannot write a lot of words. Okay, like thousands of words, because 8 marks means you need to write a lot. It's not the way of writing, because whatever you write, you need to be accurate. You have to maintain the accuracy. So whenever you get a topic, any kind of the topic, it may be about your favorite subject, it may be about that what makes you happy, it may be about your grandmother, it may be about your classroom, it's about the any kind of the incident, current incident also. Okay, any kind of the topic you get. But those topic, if you feel that about your classroom you have a good idea, about what makes you happy on this particular topic you have a good idea, you can develop it, you can write it. But remember, you cannot write in a very haphazard way, in a very roundabout way. As I told you, 180 to 200 words means that you maintain the accuracy, that your writing need to be very accurate. Okay, so because within that particular word limit, you need to focus that particular topic. So those things, those words, those information that you feel that these are relevant information, that is very important information, you need to include those particular information. You cannot write unnecessary things. Okay, for that, if you write that into that way, you will not get marks. So my suggestion is that those topic, those information that you have a good idea, good balance, you need to write that, and you need to keep on practicing on that particular things. Like writing, it's all about your writing skill, creative writing skill. Remember, unit 4 is creative writing skill, how well you can write on any particular topic, what is the, how accurate you are. All these particular things are judged. As I told you also, whenever you write, you maintain the grammar. Okay, if you commit grammatical mistake or spelling mistake, okay, you will not get marks. So that is very important thing. Next segment is develop a story from the given outline. That some outlines are given, and on the basis of that, you develop a story. You need to write a story. Okay, so there will be some point. On the basis, you need to read this point, and on the basis of that, you need to write a story. So that is the next segment, and there will be option for that, or substance writing. So if you feel in case of the story writing you have some confusion, you can write the substance. Substance means about that there will be passages, okay, as I told you, that you need to write the main theme, important point, that what you understand, that you don't have to write all the passages, okay. So what is the main point of this particular passage, what the writer wants to say through that particular passage, that need to be your focus. But my suggestion is that if you see the question paper of 2016 and 17, all these part like paragraph writing, story writing and substance writing are compulsory. But from 2018-19, that you can write the story or you can write the substance. There is an option, but it is better if the council change the trend. Okay. মই এইটো ক'ব গৈছোঁ যে ষ্টৰি ৰাইটিং আৰু পেৰাগ্ৰাফ ৰাইটিং এতিয়া এনেকুৱা দিছে যিকোনো এটা কৰিব পাৰি, কিন্তু আগতে কেনেকুৱা আছিলে যে আগতে গোটেইকেইটা কৰিব দিছিলে, আগৰ বছৰবিলাকত গোটেইকেইটা বিষয় জানি থোৱাটো ভাল. So here, as I told you, if you try to improvise your English, you need to do something like reading. Very important part, as I told you, you need to read it. You need to write and you need to listen. But I feel that somewhere we are lacking because listening, because we are not comfortable in English. So we need to feel comfortable. Okay. If you have the hesitation to communicate in English, stop that and proceed. And in case of the lectures, obviously, HS first year students, you may have some problem, you have some doubt, you can also make the question, okay, but as I told you consistently, one thing, that we need to develop all these, because reading, you can read it, obviously there is no doubt. Writing, you write it, no doubt, but in case of the listening, you need to improvise your comprehension through the listening, and you need to also communicate with others. So this is the syllabus, okay. Remember one more thing about the syllabus, what we understand from the syllabus, as I discussed, because you need to understand the syllabus. So the syllabus is about the understanding of the student. Now you see the weightage. What is the weightage? Because if you see the comprehension part, you need to earn the 15 marks. In a creative writing skill also 15 marks. So 30 marks. 30 marks is from where? From the understanding power. Then how will you get the idea? How will you read? And on the basis of your reading, how you write answer. So that is again the grammar part. In the grammar also very simple grammar, correct tense, identifications of the noun and the adjective. It's all about the understanding. So 50%, remember 50% of marks from HS past year syllabus. You get on your understanding, that how will you understand the language. Okay, and 50% from the literature. In the literature also, basically understanding on the understanding of the student, that on that particular point of focus is given. I just like to clarify how. You may have a questions how. Now see, there's RTC. There are RTC in the poem, RTC from the prose also. So RTC means what? Reference to the context. A particular passage from the prose is given. You have to read it, and on the basis of that there are some questions. So you have to write it. So this is what? This is generally about your understanding. If you are unable to understand any lessons, so what is the meaning of the RTC? What is the meaning of the reference? The meaning of the reference is that you have a good understanding power. In case of the poetry, you see here again the RTC. What is the RTC? Reference to the context. So how can you make the reference? If you are unable to get the idea of the prose and the poem, what is the meaning of the reference? The reference will be meaningless. So the thing about my point here is that, as I told you when I start the video, I told you that there is a vast difference of the HS first year and the second year syllabus. In the first year syllabus, one thing, that accuracy is being judged. How? The question is that how can our accuracy is judged? Because you have to complete the answers within particular words. Like for the short questions, 2 mark question, 25 words. For the 3 mark questions, 40 words. For the long questions, within 80 words. So you cannot write thousands of words. So that is what. So whatever you write, just try to understand. Whatever you write, your writing need to be accurate. You need to write the relevant informations. If you give any irrelevant informations, if you write in a very haphazard or roundabout way, you will not get any mark. That is the clarifications. So on the basis of that, I hope you get the idea, and my advice to all the students is that first, please try to understand the syllabus, because on the basis of the syllabus I deliver the lectures. Okay, and if you have a proper knowledge of the syllabus, then you can enjoy the classes. Otherwise it is very difficult. One thing, that alternative English is not very tough or difficult subject if you have a good understanding power, if you have a good presentation skill. Because alternative English, the motto of the alternative English is that how can we improvise the language skill or understanding skill or speaking skill of the students? How can we improvise their listening? How can we improvise their reading? How can we improvise their writing? These are some of the points. So my dear students, I discussed the syllabus in details. As far as possible, I tried to give you a complete idea. Remember, if you forget the syllabus, that I have to write as the way I like, thousands of the words, no, you can't. So in the second year, there are no word limit, okay, but in the first year, there is a word limit, so you have to maintain that. Again, I would like to remind you that the weightage is given on the understanding. So you need to improvise your understanding power. And if you have any questions regarding the syllabus, you can ask. Okay. Again, I like to from the first to the last, again I would like to tell you the syllabus. So in the unit 1, reading an unseen passage and a poem. So a particular passage from the prose is given. For that 10 marks, and a stanza of the poem is given, for that 5 marks. So 15 marks from the unit 1. Unit 2, poetry and prose. Okay, from the unit 2, poetry and the prose, from the poetry 25 mark. As I told you, there will be RTC, there will be short question, 2 mark question, 3 mark question, long question. Okay, 5 marks for that. So unit 2, poetry, right? In poetry and the prose also 25 plus 25, 50 marks from the unit 2, from the literature. Unit 3, grammar. In the grammar, 20 marks. Okay, pair of words, correct tense, take questions, prepositions, articles, identify nouns and adjectives. So 20 marks. And the last segments, unit 4, creative writing skill. From this particular segment, 15 marks, paragraph writing, story writing, and a substance writing. So substance writing, as I told you, so I will give a special lectures on the substance writing. It is not possible to include all this. So substance writing, basically, I think you know it, the substance writing, that you have to write the main point of the particular passage. Okay, so that is the syllabus, 100 marks. Okay, into that way the marks are distributed.